Hello, hello, hello. Happy Friday. Unless you're in Australia, and then I think it might be Saturday. I don't know. Tell me what it's like in the future. Oh, and I did not fix my pinned post. That's okay. I can tell you if you're seeing this and you are wondering what the heck is We Meet Wednesdays in the comment. That is the networking group that I spend my Wednesdays with and actually met today's guest. So, if you are looking to grow your community and you want to learn about all of the people Christian is already distracting me. Okay, here's the skinny kids. I'm pretty distracted today because I'm in like super exhaustion mode. You say one thing to me and I'm going to go down the rabbit hole. And Christian and Christine now have opened up the rabbit hole. So hello everybody. My name is JK and I'm super excited to have you here today on the Badass Funnel Fiesta. My guest, my friend is somebody who blows my mind every single time I talk to her. Just before we got on here, she was telling me all about some well, they're spices, really, that's what they are, that she uses for inflammation, anti-inflammatory stuff. Did you know that cucumber, ginger I did know, but cucumber and cinnamon mixed with local honey is an anti-inflammatory? I didn't know that. But that's not why Amity is cool. Amity is cool because she is incredibly intuitive. Every time we get face to face, she says something to me. Like, I'm not telling her any of these things. I'm really good at compartmentalizing, so most people don't know when I'm in pain, right? But she's always like, something's going on with you. And not only will she say something's going, she'll nail it right on the head. So I want to introduce you to her today. She is an empowerment coach. She has built multiple businesses and she has some pretty interesting perspectives on what it's like building different kinds of businesses, and especially as we're moving into the future. So please help me welcome my friend, Amity.
Gotta get this Louis
Who is so glamorous today. I cannot even begin to tell you. She came on and I laughed so hard. Amity, first, I brought it up and we were already talking about it. People in the chat want to know about the cucumber and the cinnamon. So
Okay,
tell them again, because you already told me what
let
it
me
is.
give you let me give you the correct information. It's ginger, it's cinnamon, and it's hold on a second.
Cucumber.
No, it's not cucumber. It's curcuma. Curcuma.
Okay, so see, that is why I was confused.
So it's
And
curcuma, ginger, and cinnamon, and then you put it in honey, and it has to be local honey because this is called a potion for your immune system, and it also helps for inflammation.
can I ask you a question? You mix these all together yourself, right?
Mm-hmm.
So then somebody could also add turmeric to the mix and even boost it more.
Yeah, that's what curcuma is. Turmeric. It's just curcuma is in Spanish.
I never knew that either. Okay, now see, now I'm on the same page as you. All of those things make sense to me, except for, but that is fantastic. Yes, they love it in the chat. Um, Now, you also told me that you make your own cards, right? You wanted to do a card pull this morning?
Oh, it was so funny because I was thinking that Christian was gonna be here, right? And I said, I could pull a card because I have my own cards, and my own cards is just little messages that I write my subconscious when I'm trying to reprogram my brain. And some of the messages is like life is not happening against you, but it's happening for you, or I am honoring myself and my actual goals. And these are notes that I write myself from the classes that we do on Wednesdays where we met each other, that have really been an amazing place to create community and meet beautiful women like you. So I wanted to say thank you for having me, and thank you for spending this time and providing this safe space for us to mingle.
Yeah, I do love it, and I love having you here, but I have seen you everywhere this week. Like, you have been hanging out on lots of live events, lots of podcasts this week. So tell us how that's been this week.
Let me get the microphone out. Boom, boom, boom. Did you know that Christian told me, I'm going to get some rest? She told me, get some rest. And it was so funny because then on Wednesday, my computer didn't work. There was so much going on. And I said, okay, rest time. I didn't rest. I'm so super excited. I'm happy to be in this community and to help, other women connect, be able to pour wisdom from the experiences, from the life. We come from poverty, we come from nothing, we come from our parents just being basically slaves of a system, working all the time and barely surviving, to starting to grow this company with a lot of limiting beliefs. And my dad used to tell me, when I started with my husband the landscaping company, and I used to tell him, I'm going to make millions, dad, I'm going to make millions. He used to look at me like I was saying strange things, like I was dreaming, like this was something that was so hard for us to reach. But during the journey and during the process, we continue learning and growing and creating community and hiring coaches and working together. It was a valley of a lot of stuff, a valley of a lot of situations. And yes, the business was growing, but in certain aspect, the family was breaking too.
Yeah, that is that brings up a whole lot of things that I can't even put into words. So what golly gee willikers, Amity, now I don't even know where to transition to. What would you say to somebody? I never have a hard time coming up with the next question. What would you say to somebody who, because I know you're an empowerment coach, right? You are always looking to help women step into their authenticity, figure out what their actual superpower is, and how to express that to the world.
Mhm.
So, for anybody that maybe has been in a traditional type of business, because you came from a landscaping, and I know your husband still has the landscaping company, you're still pretty active in it, right?
I am in payroll. I've been getting myself out of the operations and anything that goes on, but when our director of operation needs me, I'll have meetings with her. And by learning with you here in the community, because I get so much nurture and so much power and information by all the women, um, we'll start implementing and we'll start changing things, and I'll start putting things in order that maybe I knew but I was slacking, or maybe I didn't know and I needed to get up to date and I need to cut up. So it's an exchange of energies in every way possible.
Okay, fantastic. So for somebody that's either in a maybe they're in a job and they're trying to transition into working their business full time or switching their business, maybe they have multiple, right? There are lots of people that you and I both know that have multiple businesses going on where they're not getting rid of the first one, but they feel compelled to move into something else. What would you say to them? How would you coach them through that to realize that it's a-okay? Because as women, we often feel like we need permission to change what we're doing, right? um let's talk about that for a little bit.
So first, what
Oh,
I want to tell my loving sister is that my perspective may come from different ways, because I've been working with women for over 30 years. When I had my beauty salon and I used to be a nail teacher, I used to teach at a beauty school, and I had the opportunity to sit in front of many, many women that sometimes were trying to do so much that that's one of the main reasons why we have two and three incomes. Which, don't let me get you wrong, I do believe we should have six income streams. I don't believe you should only have one. Don't misunderstand what I'm saying. But the first thing that I would say is, are you in alignment with your why and your purpose, and you're not hustling, trying to be the man of the house, because we're so broken on our masculine and our feminine energy. We're not in alignment, and we're trying to be the providers, and we're carrying this weight, this load of having to bring in the moolah, of having to bring in the cash just like the man, because we're just over broke or barely making it. So we go out there and we get this other source of income, and probably this is your why, this is your purpose, this is the way that you could shine on earth. But make sure that you have balance. because that was one of the biggest mistake. I was doing nails, I was answering phone calls for the lawn care company, I was coming home and taking care of the family, but I wasn't taking care of my health, and that's when I had my breakdown that became my breakthrough. So see how I could share it to you in so many different ways. You have to know, are you in the right position and this is your right why? Are you sure? Is your partner in this with you? You know, are you in alignment? Do you know who's the customer you're going to serve? Because at the beginning of this journey, we started serving everybody because we didn't know our worth, we didn't know our value, and some of the people out there would use you and abuse you, disrespect you, and treat you like you know, like what?
So that laugh is how Amity is going to what's the word? Not monitor. You know, I say it all the time when I'm PGing myself, but that's great. Okay, I want to go back to something that you said. You said make sure that you have balance. I would love to hear what your perspective on balance is, because I personally believe there's no such thing as balance. And I'll tell you what I mean by that, because most people are like, what the hell? But it makes sense once I say it out loud. So tell me what you mean when you say balance.
So, for example, when I had the nail salon and I was opening my lawn care company, for me it was normal to be filing a full set of nails and scheduling lawn care services for somebody and stopping and scheduling and calling the people and telling them. And I built a company within a job. So I was doing two jobs at the same time. And sometimes I had a customer here soaking her nails off, and I had another customer here doing the nails, and on the other side, I had the computer booking lawn care services. So I think that was a little bit of overdoing some shit. You don't think?
Yeah, absolutely, for sure.
So when I talk about balance, you got to understand further the perspective of the fight and flight mode that I come from, the survival mode, not feeling protected, not feeling being taken care of. Coming from one divorce to another bad relationship to a third bad relationship. So a lot of issues and a lot of things will come up. Even that will be reflecting in my life. So I need a balance in taking care of my body as a woman. And I wasn't even modeling that to my kids. I was providing a roof. I was taking them to cruises. I was taking them to the beach. I would pay in restaurants. We would put the card on the bar. Everybody could ask for whatever they want. We would do parties and bring all the family. We would bring cruises. I would do 89, 90 people cruises. But I wasn't taking care of me. Until one day you drop dead on the floor and you can no longer get up or walk, or you can't wash your hair, or you can't even lift your hands because there's so much in pain. You can no longer file because your carpal tunnel bones are coming out. And then you're like, oh, wait a second, I really need balance because my body's telling me that all this inflammation, that I'm in denial, that I'm not really wanting to look at the pain of what it's really my body saying. It's really, I need harmony that I don't
That's good. And you probably may be saying part of that because you know how I struggle with pain. So
And you don't
that
know how I struggle with pain. So it's just a mirror, a reflection of a lot of us women that we're so used to carrying it. It's not just you, it's me.
yeah, pain is no game. So just so I go back to what I was saying, when I say I don't believe there's any such thing as balance, I always think of a teeter totter, for people who haven't heard this metaphor from me before. When I hear somebody talking about balance, I always think of, a teeter totter, and you want it to be level, right? You want everything in your life to be equal, and you're giving the same amount of energy as you're taking from whatever aspect of your life. If you have a 9 to 5 job, if you're running a business, if you have kids, all the things, taking care of parents, whatever that is. And it took me a really long time when I first got into the entrepreneurial journey, people are like, you need to find balance. You need to find balance. And so I'm always like, okay, or I was thinking that I needed to figure out how to make everything in my life be equal. That doesn't exist. I don't think that exists. So I think of balance again as a teeter totter. And sometimes you just have, all of the time, not sometimes, all of the times you have to be intentional with what you're doing in the moment, right? So sometimes your main focus is going to be getting your kids ready for school, right? We go back to school next week. So my focus is we got to get some eye doctor appointments. We got to do this. We got to do this. And that takes away from the amount of time in my day that I'm spending in my business. Other times I am in full growth mode in my business. So my kids make dinner for themselves. My husband takes care of himself, and I am intentional in my business. And the balance is that the teeter totter doesn't fly off of the fulcrum, right? You're going up and you're going down all the different times. It's a fun ride. And the balance is making sure that you're just intentional with your time and knowing what you need to focus on, and always being ready to pivot and having the grace when something that isn't what you think needs to be your priority. You give yourself grace when you shift. So that's my definition of balance doesn't exist.
Let me give you another shift about that, because as you were talking, I was getting all these downloads of information in my brain. Let's shift it a little bit, saying that we're really not looking for balance because we're looking for harmony.
I like when you said that. Yeah.
And what's harmony for you, it might not necessarily be harmony for me, because the way my brain operates, the way my brain waves, the way my cortisol levels, the way I either take my supplements. You saw what I posted today in the group. Like, this is really something serious. I need to be on track with this, and I could be on track with everything, but I'm not on track with this, and it's something that I really need to be accountable for. And I'm like, okay, anybody has a trick on how to do this? Because we all go through this in different ways of our lives, but we really need to be able to create that harmony where there's days that I like working a lot. And there's days that you're not going to see me working at all, and I'm going to be laying in my bed relaxing with my feet up, my pillows. I don't give a And I'm going to tell you something else, and this is talking about me. When I was in my masculine energy, I was doing. But when I'm in alignment with my feminine energy, I'm being. And I'm believing that my energy being in alignment with my purpose, I don't have to hustle and I don't have to do, because what's mine comes to me easy. It just knocks on my doors. I get checks on the mail from people that tell me, listen, God told me to send you this check and bless you. And I go, okay, thank you, God. That's my story.
That's good. First of all, I'm going to switch. The next time somebody asks me about balance, I'm going to totally use, I don't believe in balance. I believe in harmony. I love that. And also, I can tell you from experience that I probably still struggle with the being grateful, letting things come to me easily, right? I have always been a hustler, right? So what my struggle is, and I'm getting so much better at it. Lots of people that we are around on a regular basis are talking about self-care, and it is so important. And again, my self-care is different than your self-care.
Mm-hmm.
That's perfectly okay. And I'm getting so much better at recognizing when I'm too much in the masculine energy and I need to let go. I need to relax. I need to let my body calm down. And that's where a lot of my pain comes from. For those of you,
and I've seen you, and I've seen you.
Yeah. Well, even today, like my energy now is coming, it's raising significantly from this conversation. But before we got on this call, this is the first time ever I've done like, I don't know, 10 of these so far, like 10 episodes. But I didn't really even want to do this today. I was so tired. So, but the whole point being, I'm getting better at recognizing when I need to relax and take care of me so that I can fill the cup of other people, right? I've given everything out. I need to refill.
Yes.
But what I still struggle with is feeling
receiving.
Yes, that, yes. But even when I know that I have to take a break, my mind races and it's like I should or I could be using this time to accomplish XYZ for this person. And I forget that's the other part of what I wanted to say. So I struggle with the grace for myself to rest, but then I also forget that I'm so consumed with what I could be doing that I am blocking out the things that I could be receiving that should be coming to me easily because I know that these things are there, right? Like, I don't know if I'm making much sense now.
Completely. You are
Yeah.
completely saying what you need to be speaking out, and I am here holding this space for you, my queen. Yes, you're right.
Okay, well, I hope that whatever I said helps somebody else too,
Yes,
because
but I want you to open up to a mindset of listen to this, and it's coming from the masculine woman that I was. And I was so masculine that I bought t-shirts letting my husband know who was the boss in the house.
actually I needed a sweatshirt today and I wanted a light one, and my kid brought me this one. You probably can't see it. It says, "I'm not bossy, I'm the queen." I haven't worn this shirt in like
So what I'm coming to tell you is that the reason why last year when I turned 50, I took those pictures and the photographer had the crown and I was like, oh my God, it was because, listen to this story. We come healing so many wounds that we don't even understand how masculine or how over feminine or how feminine some of our husbands are, and they don't understand that they need to be more masculine. They need to be the king because we are the queens. But we're not allowed to surrender because we're in this hustle, we're in this rat race, we're trying to make the first million, the second million, but then one day you end up in the floor. You know what Steve Jobs said? He said, what does it matter to have all the money in the world that I have if I don't have the health that I need?
mm-hmm.
Was it worth it?
Mm-hmm. Yep. I think about that all the time. All the time. Here we are, and I've heard multiple things. So don't use your kids as an excuse, right? Like you're doing two ways. Don't use them as an excuse so that you don't fulfill your dreams. You don't do the things that you need to do to make your dreams. But then on the flip side, there are people like me who are like, I'm doing this for my kids. And so I over hustle, right? I get in the grind. And then I am always like, there are days when I'm like, are my kids going to look back on this day and are they going to think mom did something great for us or mom didn't spend time with us? So that's another thing that we need to find harmony in, because there's probably not a right answer.
And there's never a right answer, but I will come from a place of telling you that my daughter had this conversation with me where she said I have a lot of resentment because we even worked together at the nail salon. I taught her how to do nails. She got her nail license, and we used to be together sitting next to each other, but our heart wasn't present. So sometimes we think even because we're a work at home mom and our kids know that we're at home and we know that they're in their room, that's enough. That's barely making it.
Mm-hmm.
That's not enough for love, for being present. And I was so broken. My cup was really broken from my story. My dad used to be a drug addict. My mom was left in a home. So none of my parents had harmony. None of my parents had healing. None of my parents had a foundation. And from no foundation, I needed to create a foundation. So I think it was really hard trying to figure out what does a husband do? How does a husband treat a wife as the queen of the house? How do women surrender and trust men when most women, 85% of women, have been raped or violated by an uncle or a family member or somebody they knew? And a lot of this pain is in our body and is staying in our body, and we're feeling the pain and we have all these illnesses, but we're not even able to speak up because we're just so used to running the race, doing what everybody else tells us to do. And God forbid, you get up from your chair and go sit and walk barefooted a little bit in the ground so you could start grounding, baby girl. And every time you go ground, you remember me and you be, Amity, you're such a because there's healing in the earth. But we're wearing our shoes on for too long. We're not connecting with nature. We're not connected with breathing. We're not connected with just giving oxygen to your brain, because when you said something earlier, immediately I saw You know, neuroplasticity, it's a science that by talking to your brain in 72 days, you start creating new little trees, and they could prove it on an MRI. So if you had channels that said, I'm not good enough, or, I'm not worth it, or whatever, or I need to work, you could rewire and say, I could only work 20 hours a week and make $100,000 a month. If anybody wants that, say hello.
Say hello. Yes. I think we all want that. And also I can tell from the comments over here that we're hitting some pain points for people, calling some people out, which is good. Let's first of all, if you are watching this live, tell us if you're watching live or the replay. But I feel like this might be a side of Amity that a lot of people might be getting introduced to. So I want to give you, I don't know what's in this link tree, but this is how you can connect with Amity. Reach out to her, talk to her about all of the things. Oh, I pushed too many buttons. Oh goodness. Okay, here we go. But Amity is somebody who is going to pull out the little pieces of you that you haven't seen before, or that you're not even realizing is right below the surface. And she's going to, just like she has today, she's gonna be like, oh, she's gonna make you say, oh shit. So reach out to her. One other thing that I wanted to make sure that we touch base on, so that we do something that's not entirely mindset, but I wanted to talk to you about your live event that you have coming up, because we've been talking about it in the sense of a funnel. How do I and lots of people have been asking me about, what do I do with live events? So there are virtual events that are live, right? But there are also face-to-face events, right? And these are a whole nother beast when it comes to building out a funnel. Tell us maybe about your event, obviously, but then tell us what your thoughts are coming from somebody, like we've been talking about the grind when you were building a landscaping business. You're now coaching people and you're doing things with them. And so you have shared with me that creating the funnel process has been a learning curve for you, because it's not something that you're quite used to. So let's talk about that for a minute before we call it a day.
Let's talk about funnels.
This is the badass funnel fiesta.
At the beginning, people used to say funnel, and I swear to God, I think I was in a different galaxy. I couldn't filter the world. I couldn't understand it. I couldn't put it together. And I am so blessed to know you, and I am so blessed to be part of JKN, because you are a blessing. Your energy is amazing. What you bring to this earth is beautiful.
Well, thank you.
We, as business owners, don't realize how much technology has changed marketing in the industry of what a business used to be. We have not really realized and opened our mindset to understand that what you were used to doing business, the way we were doing business before, is not the same we do business now. And even when we're doing a live event in my property on November 11 at 11 a.m., I'm doing a brunch with 15 people here in Central Florida. We're doing sound bowl healing meditation outside in the yard, in my garden. We are doing a chakra alignment of, the energies in your body, so you're able to get in a harmony, and you're able to decide what's for you and what's not for you, and learn how to say no, because sometimes we don't know. And just share some food, some holistic food, some tips, and just cook with love and have some community, which sometimes is something that we have lost for the past 3 years. So for me, I didn't think I needed a funnel. And of course, I said, hey, JKN. And she was like, of course you need a funnel for that too.
Well, and funnel is the process, right? It's how you get people into, how you drive the traffic to learn about what you're doing, and then how you present your offer or freebie to them, and then follow up so that they make a decision, right? So if you just, and this might be different from you, because you have, if I understand you correctly, you have a lot of clients that are like in your community, right?
Yes.
Yeah. So that's huge. That's that'll make things so much different when you're doing a live event. For me personally, I don't have anybody that's close, right? So if I was going to do a face-to-face event, like I would really have to focus on the front end of my funnel and driving traffic. So that's
And
one thing.
another thing that helps me is that I'm almost at 10,000 followers on TikTok. And a lot of the following comes around from the area that you are. And because TikTok filters your IA based on the words you're using and it brings traffic based on your algorithm, most of the people that come from a place of healing and intuition, mentorship, and stuff like that. That's what they're looking. They're looking to heal mind, body, and soul.
Yeah. That's fantastic. I on your link in bio, the link that's going across your link tree there, is the link for your event live yet?
You know what? That is a really good question. I don't know because we wanted to have the event link ready for an event that I had this weekend where I had the opportunity to speak to about 60 women in a healing journey. And I don't think it is, but I will put it there. Yeah, it is. It is. It is, JKN. It is.
You only have so many spots, right?
It's only 15 people. I don't have spots because we're holding energy, we're holding space, we're sharing, we're gonna have time for integration, and we have time to eat and just commune together. So I want to make it very VIP, very nice. I have Josie also coming from Fort Lauderdale. She's coming up and spending the day with us and bringing in some of her human design magic for us.
Oh, that's fantastic. And last question, because this is important. So we're talking about funnels, right? And hopefully you've picked up on the things that I'm asking. So she's doing a live event. She is reaching out to people that are close to her. She shared that event in another event that she did last weekend, or is it this weekend?
Last weekend, yeah.
Okay, last weekend, right? Only 15 spots. So now we've created FOMO for this live event. And if I remember correctly, when I looked at your enrollment page, it's a pretty ridiculous amount, right?
$77 only, which is basically the cost of the food and the sound bowl healing lady.
Listen, if you're in Florida, and I know Florida is a long state, but if you are watching this right now from the state of Florida, you should check it out because I promise you it's probably going to be an event that'll be definitely worth your time and is going to make a massive impact on the rest of your year. So that is my plug for the day. Make sure if you're in Florida, you check out Amity's event and you claim one of those 15 spots. If I was in Florida, I'd be there.
Yes, definitely. It's going to be lots of fun and it's going to be lots of community and healing and enjoying, sharing, being able to talk and speak out and being able to understand how energies are working and how you need to be in alignment because based on your energy, it's how your business is going to also be working.
Actually, let's do this. If you're watching this, and I know Christine is still here watching live,
You're square, Christine.
Christian too. If you're watching this and you know somebody that is in Florida, where specifically in Florida?
I'm in Seminole County.
Okay, I don't know what that means, but if you know anybody that's in Florida, tag them in this video and tell them to fast forward to like the 20-minute mark so they can learn about that event, but they should watch the whole thing. I'm just saying.
Yeah, exactly. Super fun.
This has been fantastic. What leaving remarks would you like to share with the audience today?
Words are part of our breath of life that lives inside of our heart. From the abundance of our heart, we're speaking. If we speak love, we're going to attract like magnet love, abundance. So whenever we're using our words to speak to our body, to speak to ourselves, or to speak over our kids, or to speak over our business, be a wise person, be a wise woman, be a wise man, and think before you speak. Ponder for a second and be like, is this going to make it better or is this just going to make it worse? And I could just be like, not now, and later we could talk about this because we're co-creating constantly. with every conversation we're having. We're learning. We're bringing awareness. Our brains are getting different new little trees, and our brains are rewiring based on what we're saying. So keep in mind that you are the co-creator of your own destiny, and I'm just giving you the pen and the permission to start writing your new chapter today.
Oh, that was really good. That was actually fantastic. I could probably go down a whole another 15-minute conversation on the words that you say to yourself. But we will not. Amity, thank you so much for being here today. Let me know how your retreat goes because I would love to see you fill that up.
No, we're going to be talking a lot more soon. I know that for sure.
Yeah. And even though I looked at your landing page probably twice, it was just now a couple of minutes ago that I realized November 11th at 11 a.m. was all ones. So I'm sure
that's
you did
my angel number. And that's one of the reasons why we chose that. When you started talking about working quarterly, having your plans and having your sales and having your offers and your Black Friday sale, I sat with all my team and I said, listen, my coach JK Ensign, we need to do this, we need the funnel, this shit needs to connect, this needs to work this way, and I don't got time for that because I'm gonna go sit outside and put my feet on the ground. You put that shit together and let me know it's done.
That was good. So since you brought it up, did you guys decide on a Black Friday sale? Are you doing a Black Friday promo this year?
You know, we want to do a Black Friday promo, but I know that you were going to ask me this question today. And I was thinking that I could probably do like some short course about some type of healing or something, like for 4 weeks, and for people to give it even as a gift and do it as a deal from Black Friday into the day of December. But because most of my gifts are used in exchange, and when I see, for me, it's able to channel easier, if you understand what I'm saying.
Mm-hmm.
I was thinking it's gonna have to be like a group something, like for 4 weeks or something. And I'm thinking, how much of my free time am I willing to give in again? Because I'm very careful with how much hours I'm working now. Because what I do is not work. What I do is I love on people, but I got to make sure that I love on me first enough before I could come out of my cocoon in my closet and make sure that I'm healing and holding myself accountable with all the little schedules and the times and the supplements and all the little things, so I could find harmony for me.
Mm-hmm. That's good. But I love that you're thinking about it.
No, and I had the idea, and I knew that you were gonna ask me, and I think that's like kind of a way that I want to go.
Good. Love it. Okay, guys, make sure you connect with Amity if you're close to Florida, or I don't know what's next to Florida. Those other states there, Georgia, maybe. I don't know. Geography was not something that I did well in school. But check out her event November 11th, and we will see you soon, next Friday for sure. Bye-bye.
Bye. Thank you.